Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. I can't believe it, you probably can't believe it, but it is the end of August and we are wrapping up this month with the last paycheck, at least in our household. So I am going to get busy doing the breakdown for the August 30th base pay, and that is one of my husband's income streams. So he is in sales. He also has a partial retirement. He was able to take that even though he's not old enough for real retirement, but it's a private retirement fund. He was able to tap into that when his business closed, and now he is in sales and he gets commissions plus a base pay. So we're going to get right into it and we're going to talk about what we're doing with this last income of August. Now it is a little different and it's strange because his base pay is actually pretty variable. So whereas my checks are pretty much the same thing every single month or every single payday, the strange thing about mine actually is that I get paid twice a month. And they're two different amounts, but I think it has to do with like deductions and things like that. But every single month it's the same way. So it's a little predictable, but my pays aren't consistent even though I'm working the same exact amount of hours and I'm working, everything is the same. They're just a couple dollars off every time, but it's that way every single month. Now his base pay, I can't figure it out why it's different. I think last month it was like $12.80 some. This month it's $11.96.12. But still, I'm grateful to have this to work with. And as you guys know, we just put windows into our house. I'm loving it. I think it's going to make a huge difference with our utilities, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that ends up looking like. And also, they just look better. I mean, they're not original to the house any longer. They look sturdy and they have nice framing to them. So I feel super blessed to have been able to go down this route and actually get something like that for our house. So I'm going to start listing the usual suspects, and my variable expenses are pretty predictable, but they do change a little bit, just depending on like what I'm spending or what part of the month we're in. But for the most part, I end up listing almost the same things every time with just a couple differences, a couple wild cards here and there. So a couple of things are going to be changing. Like I do have a window payment to make now, but it's on my Bank of America card, which has 0% interest. I just realized we have 10 months left. So I plan to pay it down as quickly as possible, hopefully in the next couple months. Because it's really, we didn't charge that much. I just didn't want to take a huge sum out of our bank account or our regular savings. And I did deplete my two sinking funds, one for home improvement and one for general savings, and that helped a lot. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, the Bank of America card is new purchases, 0% interest, and it started out 15 months, and now we're getting a little bit closer to that limit. They did just send me another offer in the mail to do a balance transfer, but we don't carry credit card debt, thank God. I mean, I feel very fortunate about that. We used to. So if you go back into the deep archives of my channel, and look at my initial videos, you know that we were paying off like over $36,000 in home improvement and credit card debt, and it was hard. It was tough. It was tough getting over that. That's not the first time I had run up credit cards in my life. I've talked about this before. I'm pretty transparent about my struggles with credit cards, and now my newfound respect for them. So I do use credit, but I use it what I consider to be responsibly, and I always make sure that we can pay it off by the end of the month. So that's just how we do it. All right, so let's tally up all of our variables. So we have groceries is always, well, it's not always, but it's typically $175. And sometimes we don't spend all this, and sometimes it just goes right back into our account, or we spend the cash on something else. And I mean, I won't say that, I'm I'm that responsible. I mean, I am responsible with our budget, but like, let's just say I had $40 left from this. We would probably, I don't know, spend it. He would use it on getting lunch out at work, or, you know, picking up a new lip liner at Target. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we use the money. We don't put it back into a grocery fund. Now, if we were locked down into a budget where we were really trying to keep things to a minimum, which in some parts we are, in some ways we are, but if we were like really being sticklers about it, like I would probably put that $40 back into groceries for the next week. But I'm just honest about it. We usually end up spending it. And maybe that's how I keep our credit card use to a minimum, is because we don't totally deprive ourselves of kind of like disposable spending, I guess. Maybe that's the best way to put it. But anyways, so usually I budget $175. Gas is $100 for the week. That's for 2 cars. And if I fill my car all the way up, it's like, I don't know, $68 around there, 70, it's almost $70. I just have a really big gas tank, and I had a bigger car before this one, and it didn't take that much gas. But that being said, I don't always have to fill it up to that capacity every single week. So $50 will cover it. Dog food, $30. That always covers what we get as far as like protein, and we get either fresh or frozen vegetables. And we make this whole concoction based on our vet's recommendation for our pug. Our X, so prescription, $55 for this week. Dining out, I just budgeted $50. I don't think we need a whole lot. I mean, we might go out one night, but I don't know. We'll see. Miscellaneous, $18. Window payment, $160. So as far as dining out, we dine out really modestly. So it's something that I don't think I've ever really talked about in depth, because I think a lot of people, when they go out to eat, it's more of like an occasion, and, you know, maybe it's more elaborate than what I consider to be regular dining out. So if we dine out, like a lot of times we just go to this one diner near our house, and literally we can both eat for $10, like, well, $10 each. And then if we add like an iced tea, it's like $2.50. It's very inexpensive. And I feel very fortunate that we have places like that, and to eat where we live is inexpensive. Now, if we go to a more mainstream restaurant, you know, you're probably looking at like an upwards of $20 a person. But I don't live in an area where like things are all a la carte and, you know, very expensive to begin with. It's not where I live. I live in the Northeast, and things I think are more affordable in this part of the country than they are in other places. But I mean, it's all relative. When we go out, we don't order alcohol. Like, we don't order drinks or anything like that. It's a rare occasion. I'll have a glass of wine with one of my girlfriends or something, but we never order drinks, and we don't like get appetizers. So it's pretty affordable. And if it's just my husband and I, it's super affordable. If it's my husband, my mom, and I, like, sometimes we'll pay, sometimes she pays. It just depends. So it's pretty low key, I would say, as opposed to making whatever we're ordering. So sometimes it just costs more to, you know, go out and get the groceries to make specifically what you're craving, you know. So anyways, that's a little bit about that. So this is totaling $588 for the variables. And then we're going to, I didn't even add all that up with you. I have a cheat sheet. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do this ahead of time. I break it down so I don't waste too much time. But we add it up together. So we're going to do Christmas Club, which I'm very excited about. And I'm just curious if you guys are doing the same thing. Do you guys save for the holidays, or do you kind of wing it and then plan to pay it afterwards? We used to have no plan at all back in the day. You know, we would just charge a lot of the gifts that we bought and the things that we did, and then, you know, just kind of deal with the aftermath. And now we're just a lot more intentional about it, and I try to save as much as possible for the holidays, because I don't want to just save for gifts. I also want to save for the things that we do. So if we're having everybody over our house one night for dinner, or, you know, whatever the case may be, I want to make sure that I plan adequately and I save enough for that too, because it's expensive to entertain. So it encompasses a lot of things. It encompasses gift exchanges at both of our works. It encompasses buying for extended family. We have a couple holiday get-togethers with our family, and one is like more closer, and one is more extended, and we end up buying for everything. Plus there's one game that we play where you have to bring a gift, and I'm not complaining. I love it. You know, I would be very sad if we didn't have things to do during the holidays. And since we have no kids, I feel very fortunate and very grateful that we have the family that we have. So there are no complaints from me. If I had to spend $1 million on the holidays for us all just to be together and make memories, that's what I would do. I'm not saying you have to spend money for that, but I'm just saying if that's what I had to do, I would do it, and I would not complain. So income, $1196.12, and then our variables were $588. Our fixed expenses were 0. So let me just do that first. Variables are $588. This is our little receipt area. Subscriptions, 0 this time, and then savings, $608. And I feel very happy to be able to put that much towards savings. So the total for this is $1196. And then what do we have remaining? 12 cents. Not bad. There we go. So that is what the whole breakdown looks like. And I think that we kind of hit a lot of areas. I like seeing like a lot of these different areas filled out. So that means that I'm trying to be mindful of, like, you know, spreading out the income and making sure that we're paying attention, not just to like the things we have to, like fixed expenses or some of our variables, but we're also paying attention to things like our savings, you know, just being careful about that. So I think that this is a pretty good breakdown. What I'm going to be doing next is figuring out how we're going to allocate cash for our cash spending, and then we'll do a stuffing video because I have quite a bit to stuff. So the one through $100 savings challenge, I should have been a little bit more specific about that. I'm going to be doing the $59 and the $49. So those are the ones I'm going to stuff. So that comes out to 108. And yeah, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that if you haven't already subscribed and you like budgeting content and you like my videos, that you would consider doing so. And if you haven't already gotten your September workbook, that is still out there and available for you to download. I'm going to be using the apples in a basket, but there's also, oh my goodness, I cannot talk. There's also a wreath version, a fall wreath, and I think that's pretty cute too, but I think I'm going to stick with the apples because it has, this is more of like your traditional fall colors, which I absolutely love. I think it's really pretty, but the apples in the basket is a little bit more of a jewel toned fall theme, and I think I'm going to be using this one. So they're both out there, but you just have to be a subscriber, and it would be nice if you didn't subscribe to unsubscribe just to get it. But I just want to use this as a thank you to the people who support my channel. So thanks so much for watching. And if you're over on TikTok, I'm over there too. I do the same kind of videos over there that I do here, but just a little bit shorter, a little bit more succinct. And sometimes I throw in, you know, some like more wild card videos. So TikTok is a place I think you can be a little bit more creative if you can pare it down to just a couple minutes. So anyways, all right guys, I hope you have a great week, great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.